It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Jen Cohen as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio today. We're going to be talking about a memorial for the Sedona Police Department. Funds are being raised for it. Now, last month we had a story that we ran for a couple of weeks. It's called Back the Blue. It's an event coming up at the Enchantment Resort, and we've got two people here to talk about it. Chair Maree Bradshaw, welcome to studio.
Thank you.
Your first time here. Yes. And committee member Wendy Edwards, welcome to studio.
Thank you.
And we are going to find out how this all came about, some history on it, the background on it. Unfortunately, Sedona Police Sergeant Stephanie Foley could not be here, and she kind of spearheaded this. Am I right about that?
That's correct.
Yeah, she spearheaded the whole thing and got it going. And the goal is to what?
The goal is to create a Sedona Police Memorial.
Mm-hmm.
And the memorial will consist of a bronze statue of a police officer and a bronze statue of a canine.
And they'll sit in front of the station.
And it will be placed in front of the Sedona Police Department in the courtyard.
Ryan got some renderings of the drawings and stuff like that, so we're going to have those coming up on screen. One just came up on screen right now. So the dog will be standing. Typically they're sitting, but this one looks like it's on the move.
Right, in action.
In
with
action.
Its ear cocked towards its handler.
Handler, okay. Mm-hmm. So a lot of thought went into just the statue alone. Before we get to that, though, can one of you talk about Stephanie's kind of story and what kind of spearheaded this and give us a rundown on kind of how this all came about?
Sure.
Okay.
Stephanie, not too long ago, had the call to go to Show Low. An officer had been killed, and some of the officers from surrounding police departments had gone up to cover shifts, not only during the funeral, but so that they could recover from the tragedy.
Sure.
And while there, she saw a makeshift memorial where people had gathered, day in and day out. And she started to think about what that would mean in Sedona should something happen. And so it started with that. And she wanted a police officer, but then as a canine handler, she wanted to incorporate the canine dog as well.
Sure. I don't think you can find a single. I can remember when none of our police agencies in Yavapai County or probably Coconino County either even had canines with them. But now it would be difficult to find an agency that does not have a canine. There's at least 2 or 3 in just about all of them. And whether it's cadaver dogs or they're drug dogs, or even just a dog that says, hey, you know what, the suspect's fleeing, go get the suspect. So canines have become a big part of our world these days. So Stephanie Foley was a canine officer. Now, she's a sergeant with the police department, but I don't think she's a canine officer anymore. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay, so, but she has her canine that she worked with, so. That's really cool. So, okay, so call to arms, officer killed. I remember when this happened over in Show Low. Officer gets killed in the line of duty. People show up and they're kind of, you said, creating their own memorial. So we've got flowers and we've got cards and we've got well wishes and things like that and mournful people standing in an area. Did they have a statue or any place to kind of go to do this in Show Low at the police station? Do we know?
I think it was some type of ceramic
or fiberglass.
Okay. Okay, so they had something there. Yeah. And that's kind of the goal here, that I think what I saw with the story with Stephanie Foley, Sergeant Foley, was that she came back and thought, well, gosh, Sedona and Show Low are so close to being the same size. We should really have something like that. God forbid this happens in our area, but we should have it. Cottonwood Police Department, they have one.
Yes.
They have one out there as well, so it's a good thing. So we're going to talk about a couple of the ways that people can help out in raising funds and helping out with making these statues a reality. So, okay, that's the background. So it's taken a while. How long ago was this when we first kind of got started with the whole idea?
Well, Stephanie called me about 1.5 years ago and asked as a community member to join the committee along with a bunch of other various types of people from the community, and that they were just starting out and in the process of wanting to hire an artist and what that would look like and how much they were willing to spend and how we were going to fundraise. So that was the early on process.
Is it a daunting task to do something like this?
It is,
Is it?
Especially when you have, a dozen plus people that have all different types of ideas of what this is going to look like, and you have to come to a consensus. It isn't all about what Stephanie wanted. It wasn't all about what, the community, each person wanted. So we all had to, where it was going to end up and how much we were willing to spend, who we were going to hire, which artist everybody liked. It was quite a process.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess so, huh? And then I guess you've probably narrowed it down now, right? Do we have final renderings? And
yes.
Where are we at with the stage of it right now? And what did we come up with? Because I saw a couple pictures come up on the screen, but where are we at right now with the whole process?
So our first thing we completed was to hire the artist, and that is a local artist from Prescott, Neil Logan, who now lives in the Valley. And he has a partner, Jim Akavachi, who helps with the fundraising process. So they're a team. So one is the artist, and he's the business guy. He helps find people that, communities that are looking for a statue, and then helps that come to fruition.
Okay, okay.
So they've been hired as a team, and Neil Logan has created the sketch of the dog, and the dog is now in clay, and it's getting ready to go to the Sedona Bronze Foundry in Sedona.
Oh, wow.
And
that's pretty exciting, right?
It's very exciting.
Okay, all right.
And the sketches of the female canine officer are now completed. So the next step after this next fundraiser would be to put the officer in clay.
Okay. Why did we choose a female officer over a male officer? That could be kind of interesting because I don't think I've ever seen one before.
I think mainly because it was Stephanie Foley's idea, and female canine officers are rare in this country. There aren't a lot of them, so it's something that makes it more special for Sedona, and so we wanted to use that, and why not, especially in this time in our country where females are really rising up and being recognized as equals in fields with men, and so we feel like it's really special to be able to do a canine police officer modeled after Stephanie Foley.
That's awesome.
And as far as we can tell, there's only one other female canine bronze in the United States.
Oh, really?
So
where is it? Do we know where it is?
It's I think it's in Utah.
Utah. Okay. Okay. So not too far away. So we're still raising money for this, and we're gonna talk about raising the money for it first. But so this statue, obviously, and what I'm understanding is that once it's erected, this is going to be something that. I guess it doesn't have to be one of our locals that dies. Any officer in the entire world that died, people will be able to go to this and spend some time just thinking about what happened and what it means. Are we going to have, do these statues automatically, I know it's sad to say it, but do they come with a plaque that officers' names are added to these things when they're killed in line of duty?
I don't know if we've gotten that far. There will be a plaque, and there'll be a saying, and there's opportunities to get your name on the plaque. We're going to have blue lights that light up the memorial. And I just don't want it to be about the sad times or the death or tragic, times of tragedy to come and gather, but also celebration and
thank you, maybe.
Right, or if officers are promoted, they could have a celebration at the memorial. And it will be a beautiful place to recognize these men and women who do such a great service to our community.
I think that's a very good point to make. It doesn't have to be just a bad thing, does it?
No, celebratory.
Yeah, celebratory. All right, we got to take our first break, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Chair Maree Bradshaw in studio today, committee member Wendy Edwards. A good phone number for you is 202-8120. Stick around, Countywide, back in just a couple minutes.
These hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool. Ah yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Welcome back to Countywide. We're talking about a fundraiser today for the Back the Blue. Well, Back the Blue is the event that's coming up. It's not Back the Blue. It's the Sedona Police Department Memorial that's going to be in front of the Sedona Police Department in West Sedona. It is going to be a female canine officer and her canine. And as you mentioned, the canine is posed and ready to go with ears listening to commands.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yes.
I'm going to go back to that. Did it take very long to decide on that, or did you just see it and say, oh no, that's the one?
It was a process.
It was a process, huh?
A series of drawings and just all different types of, sitting, leaping, and the committee came up with, they wanted something action, and then what that meant and how the paw was posed. And
wow.
Neil Logan did several renditions.
You don't think about that, but I guess all that stuff matters, huh? Exactly how somebody wants that piece of art to look.
Yes.
Because it's going to be there forever.
Yes.
So, wow, that's got to be quite a process.
And we decided we wanted it to look realistic.
Uh-huh.
You could make the dog really perfect like a statue, but we wanted it to look like a canine in action. And so its paw is a little tilted out like it would be, its ears cocked, and it looks like it's in action.
Yeah. I think about that in Sedona. You see a lot of artwork like that that's very different. One that pops into my head is at the Hillside
Yes.
Plaza. There's kids walking across a log.
So cute.
And I've stood there and looked at that one numerous times, and I'm like, I can remember doing that when I was a kid. And they look really, well, they look realistic. So I think that's great. Okay, I'm glad it took some time to kind of figure out what's she going to look like. Anything particular about her that, I mean, dog is one thing, but now we're talking about a human being. So how does that process work? Because, I mean, you've got oh my gosh, you're talking about a human being.
So far he's doing the drawings.
Yeah.
And we on the committee have joked that we really would like her to have dimples because Sergeant Foley has dimples.
Okay, all right, okay.
But we haven't gotten too far with that one. He's done some drawings, and I think those are still being revised and worked on.
So we're focused on the dog right now.
Right.
That's the first step, is the dog.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk some money.
Okay.
You want to talk some money? You guys need some cash.
Yes.
How much is this going to cost, and how much do we have so far?
Okay. The overall project is just over $100,000. The first part of the project is the canine, and that part of the project is just over $25,000, and we're approximately about $18,000 on that. This next fundraiser is going to push us over the edge and start us on the officer side, which is about $75,000.
Okay, all right. So $25,000 for the dog.
Yes.
Now, when the dog is finished, will the dog be put in place prior to the officer? They're not going to be fused together on one piece, or how does that work out?
They're going to go up together.
They're going to go up together.
Yes.
Okay, so the dog will be made and then stowed away. Will pictures be released when the dog's finished, or are we going to hold off until the whole thing's done? No, what are we going to do? How are we going to unveil this thing?
Our next fundraiser coming up on April 7th, we will have the clay dog there. You'll be able to see the actual clay dog, and that'll be the unveiling for the clay.
Okay. And is that Back the Blue?
That is Back the Blue at Enchantment.
Okay, so let's talk Back to Blue, because we're trying to raise the money now. Now we should probably mention, of course, that you guys will take donations at any point in time. Anybody that can give anything to help with this is more than welcome to help out. And I'll give the phone number again: 202-8120. Of course, area code's 928, but it's 202-8120. So Back the Blue is coming up on April 7th. Tell me all about this, because so we've got the statues figured out. Well, one of the statues figured out. We're still working on the female officer statue, but even putting a fundraiser together, I've emceed a couple of those things, but I can't imagine putting them together. So what's that like? I mean, that's quite an endeavor too.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's how Wendy ended up being on the committee, because
You're a good organizer?
No, I like to do fundraisers. No. I like to do fundraisers, and she's great at recruiting people to be on her committee.
Okay.
As part of the original memorial committee, looking around the table, not everybody was interested in the fundraising side of it. They wanted the statue, and they wanted to say in the statue, but they weren't really fundraisers per se. So we had to bring in people. We formed the subcommittee to bring in other people in the community that would actually be strong and dedicated to getting this thing finished. And Wendy was one of my first calls.
Yeah, you got to pull all the way through on something like this. You back out in the middle of it, and you got some trouble.
No, we have big plans. So.
Yeah, big plans. Right, big plans. So we should talk about those plans. So Back to Blue, it's going to be Enchantment Resort on April 7th. Tickets are $125. Is that right? $125, and the money goes all towards the Back to Blue
the memorial.
The memorial project.
The memorial project.
Yes.
Okay, the Sedona Police Department memorial project. Okay, so what is it? Tell me more about Back to Blue. What's Back to Blue all about?
So Back to Blue at Enchantment is a reverse raffle, and so we're selling 200 tickets. We're capping out at 200, and your ticket includes your raffle number as well as dinner at Enchantment. As the night goes on, raffle numbers get pulled throughout the night, and there's consolation prizes, and the last number pulled, which is the reverse part, is the actual winner, and our big prize is an extreme weekend in Vegas.
Okay. Extreme weekend.
Extreme.
I thought they were all extreme. I've never been. I can admit that. But okay. So extreme vacation in Vegas.
Yes.
Okay.
It includes a suite and a helicopter ride and a
suite
NASCAR.
at Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A NASCAR experience, and there's a limo and gas money.
And a helicopter ride over the Strip if you want. At night, if you want.
Oh, wow.
Or during the day.
Okay.
So very exciting.
Okay.
It's a wonderful package.
All right. Awesome.
And we're also going to have a very large silent auction, and we have music by DJ Eagle, Craig Eagle of Snap Fitness, and our MC for the evening is going to be Pat Schweiss from the film festival.
I think a lot of us know Pat Schweiss. I know Pat Schweiss. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's colorful.
You know it will be fun
with,
with Pat as
Pat's
our
a
MC.
fun guy.
So we have a great cause, we have Enchantment, and we have Pat Schweiss. So we have the trifecta. It's going to be a fantastic,
It'll be a
very
beautiful
fun
night.
event.
Yes.
And it's in April.
Music and dancing.
Music, dancing.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay. Was it 6 to 11 p.m.?
That's correct.
6 to 11 p.m. coming up on April 7th. Now, how do people go about getting tickets and finding out more information about it? What's the best way to do that?
So you can call the number that you've been talking about.
202-8120. Okay.
And that'll get you Jim, and he can take credit cards right over the phone. You can also go to Bashes of Sedona to their customer service department, and we have tickets there.
Okay, all right. So there you go. So you can talk to Jim, and Jim's the one who contacted me. He emailed me about the Back to Blue, and I thought, well, that's a great idea. So that's what kind of spearheaded the whole thing. So just so you know, Jim did a great job, and so he's been working on getting this set up. So that's fantastic. We got to take our second break. Chair Maree Bradshaw and Committee Member Wendy Edwards in studio today. We're talking about a memorial for the Sedona Police Department. Stick around, countywide, back in just a couple minutes.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here.
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Hi, Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a few minutes left of the program. We talked about Black the Blue at the Enchantment on April 7th. That's going to be from 6 to 10. For more information on anything we talk about, 202-8120 is a good phone number to go to. We've got a couple other things coming up, though. Wendy, you were saying Back the Blue home tour.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
We are doing a home tour on June 2nd. It will be from 10 o'clock in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. The home tour will feature 5 unique homes in Sedona, and the tickets are only $35. And it's a self-guided tour. You get the addresses on a map on your ticket, and you just go around to the different homes, and you get to tour throughout these wonderful homes. It's really fun.
And people will be expecting you to do that.
Yes.
On the correct date, of course.
Yes.
Okay, so that's $35 a pop from 10 to 2 on June 2nd. And then this next one, Back the Blue on the Danube, this one will probably be a big plus for you guys.
Yes.
For raising funds. Tell me more about that one.
So it's a European river cruise on the Danube. It starts in Budapest, and you travel down the river, and you go through 5 different countries. It's a week-long cruise, and for every ticket that we sell, a portion will go towards our cause. If we can get 30 passengers, then we will raise
just over $20,000.
$20,000 for our
nice
cause.
chunk, huh?
Yeah, and so it's so much fun to raise money by going on a cruise. We thought this was a no-brainer, and it's
I can vouch for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so we're really excited about that. That's April of 2019.
Okay, so a little more than a year from now.
Yes.
Awesome. So there's plenty of time for planning for something like that, right? Plenty of
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Let me ask you this then. Here's a good question for you. There's got to be a goal in mind as to when, Maree, you'd like to be done with this and probably move on to your next endeavor. So what is kind of the earmark goal to have this kind of all wrapped up and be done?
I think this Europe trip is going to be the, I'm hoping that it's going to finish us off. So that will be April 2019. I hope to be done by then.
And then when we're done with it, what we got to finish this off in grand style, though, because it's been going on for years now. So how do we finish this thing off? Any plans right now in the future?
Oh, I'm sure we'll plan a celebration to have an unveiling and have a big party in Sedona. Yeah, we haven't gotten that far yet, but sometime in 2019 would be great.
So when we get the female officer rendering taken care of, are you guys going to release those rendering photos, or do you kind of hold on to those close to your chest until we get closer to it? How does that work?
Well, with the dog, we waited until the clay was done, and now we'll reveal the clay. So whenever the officer is in clay, and whatever type of fundraiser we happen to be doing at the time, we'll build it around the revealing of that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. You'll let me know then.
Yes.
Or Jim will let me know.
Yes.
And we'll go from there. All right. So, wow, a lot of information to put out again. Okay, so there's the Back the Blue event at Enchantment on April 7th. For any information on any of these, the phone number again is 202-8120. And as always, if you can't attend any of the events, donations would be great. If you can help out with the Sedona Police Department Memorial, that would be fantastic.
We do have a Facebook page, these Friends of the Sedona Police Memorial, that people can visit.
Friends of the Sedona Police Memorial is the Facebook page, okay. Then there's the Back the Blue home tour coming up on June 2nd, and Back the Blue on the Danube also coming up, and that's in April of next year, 2019. All right, I think we've got it all. Did we hit everything?
Pretty much.
Punch list done. 202-8120. Again, this is Countywide. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll talk to you again next time.